The following is a paid program by the Property Rights Alliance.
Keeping you informed. This is In.form on WBDC and 18 WJTS.
Good afternoon. I'm Bill Potter on 101 Country WBDC and 18 WJTS TV. This program is going to be featuring two folks from the Property Rights Alliance having to do with the Mid-States Corridor and the Stop the Mid-States Corridor Project Coalition. Joining us in the studio is Dave Ring, who many of you may know from past years. Also joining us is Marisa Durcholz. So let's first of all find out a little bit about you two and why you're involved in the property. Maybe we should start with what is the Property Rights Alliance?
It's a group of farmers, landowners, people that even aren't impacted by the potential road that don't want the Mid-States Corridor road to go through. And so it's a way to become more active instead of maybe just putting a sign in your yard, just to do a little bit more. Whatever your gifts and talents are, to use that towards whatever way we can get the word out about this alliance and about stopping the project.
Okay, and what does the Property Rights Alliance have to do with the Stop the Mid-States Corridor Coalition? Are they the same? Are they separate?
Yes, they're the same organization. Backing up just a second, we have a lot of homeowners involved with our organization also, because it's going to be a drastic move on homeowners in Du Bois County. But yes, it started out as a group of us when Lockmiller came in with Tier 1 study, and we got 10,000 plus signatures from people in Du Bois County that were against the road, and kind of assumed that Tier 1 was probably going to be the end of it. And then Tier 2 came up, and that's when Property Alliance got together and said, hey, we probably need to really get this organized. And we have now a group. We meet every other Thursday at different locations, and we also have a hardened attorney. So we're a legitimate organization now.
Who can join? Is it available to anybody?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be in the path of the road, proposed road, or be infected by that. Anybody can join our organization, and anybody can donate if they want.
And if they would like to donate, there's a GoFundMe page, I think,
Yes.
through your
And
Facebook?
a P.O. Box 64,
Okay.
Jasper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Property Rights Alliance, Box 64 Jasper. Send a check. Appreciate it.
Okay. Now, you two folks are from Du Bois County.
Yep.
Yes.
But this affects, I'm not sure how much of Spencer County is affected, but mostly Martin?
Just Du Bois.
Just Du Bois.
This
Okay, your
project-
group is, okay.
But this project is just Du Bois.
Okay.
The Tier 2 study is
Yeah.
just for the Du Bois County
Yes.
portion.
Starts at Interstate 64, goes to Hayesville Bridge.
Okay, and that's kind of what the whole point of this is to educate us so we
Yes.
become more knowledgeable about it.
Yes.
How did this start, and what does an RDA have to do with it? Marisa?
Okay, so RDA is a regional development authority, and a local politician from Du Bois County passed legislation, Senate Act 128, I think it was in 2017 or 2018, that allowed the creation and development of a regional development authority. And it basically says that neighboring counties can come together, appoint people on a board to do certain development projects, this one being an infrastructure project.
Okay, now tell us a little bit about how each of you, what's your vested interest? Why are you interested in this? And Dave, we'll start with you. I know a lot of people know Dave Ring as an ag teacher.
Yes.
Okay. I know I've heard you. First time I've met you, but I've heard your name a lot.
Southridge.
Okay, Southridge.
I was an ag teacher at Southridge, and I'm a big proponent of agriculture. Our farm where I live was established in 1854. I'm the 6th generation. My son's 7. My grandson's 8. So I have a vested interest in it. This proposed project is really taking a toll on our farm operation, but that's another story. The main reason I got into it is just it's affecting a lot of farmers. Du Bois County is a kind of a unique county with a lot of generational farms. We have 3 generations on our farm. A lot of farms have 3 generations, and a lot of them 2 in our county. So it's affecting family businesses, and farming is a business, not a way of life anymore.
Okay, and Marisa, you probably are on the other end, property owner, homeowner.
Yes. So I found out about this in the 2017-2018 timeframe. We had just purchased a home out on Trainer Lane, which is past the bowling alley, for those that may not know exactly where it is, just past Tudorville and Wysite Road. But the reason I bring that up is when we were getting ready to purchase the home, there were talks about the city possibly donating money to the RDA. So I went to that first meeting way back when, but it wasn't publicized. It was something I had to go and search and find. The only reason I knew anything about an RDA was because my sister from Floyd County had tried to educate me on all of that, and she said, Jasper's getting ready to do something, so I was paying attention to meetings and things like that. So I went to this first meeting with the city trying to donate money, and it was me and my husband and probably like 5 other people, because people just didn't know that the city was going to be voting on putting money towards the Tier 1 study at that time. And so we had the house that ended up being in the 2,000-foot corridor, and it's not just my home, but within the 2,000-foot corridor, it's our home on the western side and my father-in-law's home on the other side. So if this road goes through, it's either going to take our house, it's going to take my father-in-law's house, or it's going to go right in the middle. And we are so close that we can actually walk to each other's homes right now. He's getting ready to retire, so we're going to get chickens soon. And, I know people don't like to hear, oh, well, it's going to impact me, and that sounds selfish. But, don't just think about me, somebody in, midlife. Think about the older people that have lived somewhere their entire life, and there's really nowhere else for them to go. They're not going to be able to buy a home for a decent amount for what they've had their whole life. So displacing a lot of people.
So we're going to look maybe at this in 2 ways. Dave, you're going to talk about agriculture, and Marisa, you're going to talk mostly about property and homes.
Okay.
So Dave, let's talk how the Property Rights Alliance group is concerned about the agriculture loss. And I say it like that because you and I discussed this somewhat. It's not so much property loss as much as agriculture loss.
Well, what she said about also everybody thinks, oh, you're losing your own. It is affecting us big time, but it's also taking 1,800 acres of farmland in this operation, this proposed route. That is a major, a lot of people that aren't even affected by the route, the proposed route, will be paying higher property taxes. So it is going to affect everybody in the county. Now, also, the importance of agriculture in our county, we talked about this. We're number 1 in turkey production in the state as counties go. We're number 4 in the nation as far as county go in turkey production. We're also number 1 in the county in ag sales, ag dollar sales. So Du Bois County is a very important ag industry and throughout the state. We have also, I did a thing for Du Bois County Strong a couple years ago. We have over 6,200 people are employed in direct production agriculture, which means we're producing food for animals and humans in this county. We have Farbest, we have Prairie Farms, we have Wabash Valley. We have a lot of major industry in agriculture in this county, and this road will really affect production agriculture in our county.
And then on the property, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, Marisa.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not originally from Du Bois County. I moved here when I was going into 8th grade. My husband is from Du Bois County, and so his family actually, the house that we bought was a home that his parents built in the 80s. And so all the land around us is family owned since 1959, I think his aunt told me. So we're the only home out there on the family land, but there's really good hunting land, so it's going to impact hunters. I just saw probably 7 deer last night coming home, going across one of the driveways down our lane. So it's going to have a big impact, and I don't know. The thing that I fear the most is that this land grab is not just going to stop with the road. I feel like around the road, they'll end up buying property that maybe the homeowner, if a farm is split, or they don't take someone's home, but they take part of their land, that they're going to end up buying more land than what they need, and could be future development. So it could it could go beyond what people are even thinking at this time.
Is the road not needed?
There's a need and purpose study. Funny you should bring that up. Done a few years ago, and this route was not the preferred route of that study. Somehow it came about with Lockmiller Group to come up with those routes. The intermodal is a word you'll hear, which is semis and things like that. But that was not even studied. So one thing I forgot to mention about go back to the agriculture side of it. I was fortunate to go to one of the meetings, a community advisory committee, they called it. Lockmiller set this up. I was asked what I felt about agriculture, what invasion this would make. And I pointed out to a couple of business people that were there, they were promoting the road. You know, if if this road would go through your factory, a brick and mortar building, you just tear it down, move it somewhere else, rebuild it. Well, when that road goes across my factory, which is our farmland, we produce goods and services for food. That's our factory. That's the farmer's factory. And if it's destroyed with asphalt, it's gone forever. And whereas we can't rebuild that. And another thing at this same meeting I was going to bring up, the sheriff was there, and he was questioning, this road will intersect, it's a limited access plan, it will intersect a lot of county roads. So if a fire truck or an ambulance or a school bus wants to get to somewhere in that community, they're going to have to, readjust their route, more time. So it's really not going to be safer. And that's some of the things that people don't realize what's happening.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, it's going to relieve some of the congestion on 231 through Jasper. But in my mind, the people that are going through town are going through town because they probably either live in town or to the west of Jasper, right? Like for me, I already live on the east side of town, and I'm going around Jasper with, Mill Street, that extension, and 600 North. So somebody who lives on the west side of town is not going to take this Mid-States corridor when they're actually probably going to have more time going there than they would through town, if that makes sense.
Is the Mid-States corridor an interstate? It is not. Is it a
No.
Super B?
No, it's a Super 2 or a 4-lane. That's what the Tier 2 study was supposedly going to study and come up with. It just, but they've, like she said, they've established this 2,000-foot corridor, and they're going to do something within that. So, like for me, we have a whole field, 130-acre field that's in the 2,000-foot corridor. So, and like she said, there's houses, they don't know for sure where that's the whole thing with dragging this out. People can't do anything to their homes. It's really been a struggle for homeowners for this whole process to know.
Basically since the 1980s, right?
Yes. Am my home going to be destroyed, or going to have to rebuild? Some homes, there's another property tax problem there, because some of those homes won't be rebuilt. Some people are going to say, heck with it, I'm out of here. And, others will probably rebuild. But it's going to be a property tax implication for Du Bois County. That's a major thing that everybody should be concerned about.
Plus more traffic through the area. I mean, it's going to bring more people, more crime, those types of things. So
What do you say to people who say, well, it's too late, it's really a done deal? But
It's not a done deal, but we should have been on board sooner. But we've really progressed in the last month as far as opposition to this road. And we need more help, more people, more financial support. But it's changed in the last month. That's the reason we're here, because we're excited about it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people probably listening aren't really associated with it. They don't know that much about it. It's not going to affect them. It's not going to even come close to my house. So they don't really follow any of it. Can you explain the Tier 1, Tier 2? How is any of that? And I guess there's a Tier 3 if there's a 1, 2. I don't, how did...
So
what's the process? Where are we?
Yeah, it is confusing. The Tier 1 studied the whole route, which is all the way from 69 up by Crane to 64. Then they are breaking the next tiers down based on location. So the tier 2 is just the bypass around Du Bois County. And then at other points, they could do the study around Lagodi and then up further north of Lagodi.
Because I guess obviously you can't just come right through Huntingburg and Jasper and up. 231 wouldn't work for that.
It could. There's a plan for that. It's funny you should bring that up. The guy,
I'm the comedian.
the past governor put up $75 million to upgrade current 231, putting passing lanes and things like that. And we almost have a Super 2 now between Huntingburg and Jasper. It's got a wide apron, and things like that. So there are other options available rather than a new terrain. A new terrain is what is getting a lot of opposition here because it's taking a lot of homes, a lot of farmland, and it's putting a lot of people at stress. When is this? What's happening here? But the tier 2 was designed to. They came up with this. What is it? Route P, I think, is the route, but then over by us, they curved it around because the airport wanted to lengthen the runway to the west. So that's the reason it's taken 3 or 4 farms in my area for that. But and then it goes curves around back east of Huntingburg. Could I say that?
Yeah. Why don't you talk? Because really, I think again, a lot of the people listening they don't even know where it's going. And I mean, I just recently found out. I looked at the map, but I couldn't really follow it right.
Yeah, it doesn't show very well. Okay, start down at Interstate 64, and it goes up, follows the current 231, and there's a road that says to go to Holland. The Holland, I call it the Holland Road. That's my neighborhood. But okay, there it breaks out and goes west across some farm fields, goes through our field west of the airport. Then as soon as it gets past, there's a woods there by the airport. It curves around behind that, then comes out, crosses the current 231, goes east of Huntingburg, comes out Wilson's Hog Market. It's on 64 east of Huntingburg, and then it goes east of Jasper, and then it curves around back, and it goes west of Hayesville.
And when it comes to Jasper, it's going through Hooterville?
No, it's
east.
It's really close to Hooterville.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. Well, it could be. So the 2,000-foot mark is right behind Hooterville because I'm on that line.
So
and I'm on Trainer Lane.
Go through there and then hit the Hayesville Bridge?
No, it goes west of Hayesville. It comes back and crosses
231 again.
231 again.
Okay.
Which, yeah.
And then it goes to the. Okay, if it goes 4-lane, proposed 4-lane, it's going to go to a 2-lane bridge.
Okay. Now I'm going to bring this up because I'm getting older, Dave.
I don't believe that.
Yeah. What's it matter to me? Because I won't even be alive.
I always like to think, my husband and I moved back to Du Bois County in 2012. We were not, we went to school, and then we lived around the Fort Knox, Kentucky area. We lived a little bit in Georgia. We came back in 2012 because our son was getting ready to start school, and we knew Jasper had great public schools. If Jasper continues to get bigger and bigger, what happens to our schools? Will they be as wonderful as they are now? I don't know if anybody can answer that question. I think the reason that it's so good now is because they are somewhat smaller class sizes, and a lot of the teachers are the same way. They move away to college, they live somewhere for a little bit, and then they come back because they love this community. Not every town can say that. Not every town's school system has teachers that were born and raised there and decided to come back.
And Dave, for you, it's a family thing. I mean, you have a son, then you have a grandson.
I'll go back to the Du Bois County, and I'm old too, by the way. It's a generational thing in farming. It's kind of a way of life, but it's a strictly business anymore. But yet, if you have 2 or 3 generations, obviously you don't, you're ruining your future. Like if they buy the ground from me for the road, what's that done to my grandson's lifetime income? It's ruined it. So that's the reason I'm putting up such a ordeal about defending what we got.
Well, probably a lot of that is emotional because
it's
It's what you do.
1854, our farm was established, and it's been in our family quite a while. So it's emotional. You're right. It is emotional.
It is for us too. I mean, we've lived in several different homes since we've been married, and this is the first home where it's like this. If the road doesn't happen, this could be our final home because it's so private. We can literally step outside our house, walk around, and not see any other homes. We do have neighbors that are on Trainer Lane, but we can't see them from our home. So complete privacy. It's quiet. It's peaceful, and the road's going to change all of that for everyone in the path that has a sense of privacy.
Something we've probably not, like downtown Huntingburg, you're diverting traffic. You have to have traffic to have a retail business in downtown. And it'll do the same, probably not so much for Jasper as Huntingburg. It'll demolish a lot of businesses in downtown Huntingburg, with not having traffic there. And as far as semis in Jasper, look at all the factories you have and stuff. You're still going to have a lot of semis here in Jasper. It won't completely eliminate that problem, so.
Yeah, Lagodi actually pushed back quite a bit
Yes.
when it was bypassing their town because they know how big of an impact that's going to have on the traffic that currently goes through Lagodi. If Lagodi doesn't have that traffic anymore, all of those small businesses are going to die.
Is there an organization like this in Martin County, since it affects them too? Or
Well,
is it
they're part of, so
okay.
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people
Okay.
from
There's a
Martin
lot-
County
They
within.
part of-
participate in our group too.
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So what rights do property owners, and let's look at it, I guess, two ways. What rights do ag business owners have, and what rights do homeowners, property owners have? That's kind of what your group also exists, is to let people know what rights they have, should it be this mid-states corridor or some other reason that land is being taken. And some people say, well, it's repurposed. It depends on how you look at it. What do they have? What rights do they have? How can they get to know what those rights are?
Okay, our group has started with our attorney. We have started a letter that people can sign and send back to Lockmiller that they have to have a court order to get on our property, and they can't just walk on here. And that was the reason this was established. This cease and desist letter is what it's called. Okay, so you just don't have people abruptly coming on your property and doing whatever. So, but that's the property owner's rights right there.
So I have the right to stop you from
Yes.
coming on and surveying my land.
You have to
or
get a
whatever.
court order to do it.
Okay.
That's the way, that's the formal process. But
Yes.
because they have this Indiana code that says they can do it, they're trying to just go on people's properties and do it without the court order. This was set up to where we're making them abide by the full due process.
Due process.
Okay. So
Yes.
what if I have land and I don't want to sell it? I don't want to give it up. Can I do that, or is it, I guess, eminent domain?
Well,
So that's an
I'm not a legal guy,
That's-
and you
that's-
guys aren't legal guys, but
that's what's happening to us. I'm going the ultimate because that farm is very important to us. That farmland is very important, and there's a lot of even homeowners and farmers have the same feeling, and there's it's a long process, but it can help. It can be done.
So an interesting thing about eminent domain that a lot of people don't realize, only elected officials should be able to do eminent domain. But the RDA, who is an appointed board, actually in the law for the RDA has the authority for eminent domain.
okay, so they can.
Which
I'm
is
saying.
scary.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can't vote these people out.
Yeah, they're appointed.
Now, for your group, if somebody wants to help, be part of it, what do they do? Obviously, they could probably contact either of you, but what can they do to help? Where can they go to get more information?
Every other Thursday night, we have a meeting somewhere here in Jasper, and come to the meeting. And our attorneys either there or on conference call, and you can get questions answered there. And it's a very educational thing.
There's also a Stop the Mid-States Corridor Facebook page, so a lot of information was provided on that before this Property Rights Alliance group was even started. So that's probably the best place to go. I know a lot of people do not have Facebook. I don't personally have Facebook, but you can at least go there to get a snapshot of the current information. If you try and look at too much, then it's going to ask you to log in. But just to stay up with the most up-to-date information. Also, I believe they were trying to get a website for Property Rights Alliance. I'm not sure if that's happened yet. It's set up. Okay.
And
We don't know the address, do we? I know. I'm the same way.
It was just recently done, and I've been out of town. I haven't been to the last meeting, so I'm sure there's much more intelligent answers than I'm giving you right now on that.
But I would say, if you can't get to the Stop the Mid-States Corridor Facebook page, Google Property Rights Alliance, Jasper, Indiana, or Du Bois County, Indiana, and something should pop up.
And I guess one of the most important things you want people to know is that it's not a done deal. That's why your group has come forward, maybe a little late, but you have come forward.
A couple months ago, I was worried. Now I think there's hope for this to be stopped.
Active involvement is what we need.
Yes, active involvement by everybody. Just say no.
How long are we talking about before any dirt would ever turn over? Do we know?
No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Because the Tier 2 study could take up to like 3 years?
3 years.
And then that's just the environmental impact study. That's not even breaking ground.
So it's a long process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yes.
if somebody wants to contact your group now,
Sooner the better, really. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
all right. Anything that you guys would like to add that we didn't cover? I want to give you. I mean, this is the time you're paying for. You tell me what you want to would get out there.
Well, the address is Property Rights Alliance, Box 64, Jasper, Indiana. Please send your checks to that address and help us out, because our attorney is very educated on this type of process, if you will. He's been involved in another bypass road that he helped get defeated. So he's very educated. He's doing well. He's the one that came up with this cease and desist letter, and so I'm amazed with. We also have a GoFundMe on Facebook.
Yes, and that's.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'm not sure how those work, but I guess you go to Facebook, you can find it that way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Marisa?
I think GoFundMe is separate from Facebook, but yeah, you can find it through Facebook if you want to.
Probably a link on your
Yeah.
Facebook page, whatever the face page, whatever it's
Yeah.
called. Okay. Anything else, Marisa? You just want people now to get activated. I don't know if any group has really been formally active like this.
No.
Until now.
Not as an organized group.
See,
it's been grassroots, kind of
yeah.
just doing things here and there, but there hasn't been a formal established organization.
You know, other groups individually they tried, but never did a group get together in a group like this to resist what. And the need for this thing is very sketchy, very sketchy.
Yeah, I mean, they'd had previous studies that NDOT had said, no, there's not a need.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden there's a need.
There's a person from Martin County. He's very astute on this stuff, and he read somewhere where there was a study that the current 231 is only 25% capacity.
Interesting.
Yes, very much.
I
so.
drive it every day, and it's never busy.
What does NDOT have to do with this? Do they?
Oh,
I
they're
mean-
the ones pushing this.
Okay.
You know, it's a project for NDOT now. That it wasn't, but then Tier 2 it became an NDOT project. So Lockmiller's just working for NDOT to come up with routes and things like that.
The nuts and bolts, I guess.
Yeah,
of it.
there you go.
Okay.
The reason NDOT had made it a priority now is because of that RDA. The RDA allows public funds, taxpayer money from cities and counties to be combined with private company money. And so there were a lot of companies in the Du Bois County area that donated to the Tier 1 study, and that's how we got to where we are. And I feel like there should be some transparency there whenever we asked for the list of companies, there were some that allowed their name to be publicized. Most of them, I'd say 95% of the list was redacted. And if you support this road and you talk about it as supporting it, then be willing to put your name and how much you donated to the Tier 1 study.
Okay, well, thanks to both of you for coming in.
All right,
Dave
thank you.
Ring, pleasure to meet you. Heard your name many times. Marisa, pleasure to meet you as well. Marisa Durcholz. They are with the Property Rights Alliance Group, which is, I guess, you were developed out of the Stop the Mid-States Corridor
Correct.
Coalition.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
That would be a good definition.
Thanks to both of you for coming in here on 101 Country WBDC.
Appreciate the opportunity to let us explain probably more of the program.
And we do want folks to know that this was a paid-for program. WBDC and Du Bois County Broadcasting is not necessarily involved in what you say or do, and we're not responsible for what you have brought up. But thank you very much for coming and being on the air.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
This has been In.form on WBDC and 18 WJTS. Catch past episodes on our social media pages and our websites. If it matters to you, it matters to us. In.form.